Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is July 12th, 2025, and the top news for crypto are as follows. Let's start today's episode with the ETFs of the spot. On July 10th, spot Bitcoin ETF saw $1.1 billion in inflows. Just on the day, we had this huge green candle. And let's say, with regard to BlackRock, what leads to ETF volume? ETF's spot Bitcoin ETF has collected $80 billion in assets, breaking the speed record. In other words, as you can see from this graph, BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF reached $80 billion in just 374 days. The second fastest ETF to achieve this was Vanguard's ETF, slightly smaller than BlackRock, the S&P 500 ETF, which reached $80 billion in assets in 1,814 days. Can you imagine how many institutions have embraced BlackRock's ETF for Bitcoin? In the meantime, in the field of Ethereum, we also see amazing numbers. BlackRock's spot Ethereum ETF closed with a total of $383 billion. As a result, both spot Ethereum ETF and spot Bitcoin ETF recorded the second largest day in their history in inflows. Nothing is accidental, one can say. Moving on to companies diving in crypto as there is no tomorrow, we go to Upexi, a consumer products that support Solana, which raising $200 million to finance business activities as well as further SOL markets. And from this company, we are moving to Sharplink, which allegedly bought 10,000 Ethereum from the Ethereum Foundation itself. Let's say they bought them at a great discount, as the average price was $2,572, and now Ethereum is close to $3,000. This is the official announcement you see on your screens, and this is the company's stock chart showing a 71% increase in the weekly chart. And of course, we mentioned it in previous episodes. Going back to Ethereum, I will take you to a new route map that, if followed, will bring zkEVM to the L1 mattress. In particular, Ethereum is preparing for a large architectural upgrade that could be applied if they will. Ethereum is preparing for an important architectural upgrade that could lead to a virtual Ethereum of zero knowledge zkEVM directly integrated into level 1 blockchain within 1 year. Instead of being required by each validator to re-execute the trading blocks to verify them, the system will go to validators who only control the ZK proofs, which are microscopic cryptographic evidence that confirms that everything was done correctly. To say it simply, instead of verifying each exchange separately, the validators, in the context of this system, will exchange and receive a ZK proof that confirms that it was done correctly. All other validators, instead of controlling each exchange, will simply verify that the smaller proof, making the process much faster. In addition to speed, this approach will also reduce the space required to store these exchanges, making Ethereum more effective throughout the width, if this route is followed. Now moving to an ICO, and this time it is not an ad. We turn to ICO Pump.fun, which will take place in Bybit. Let me remind you that the Pump.fun is the platform where the meme coins start, and for months was the main reason why Solana stayed alive. Let's say the Pump.fun has an ICO. Bybit has confirmed the long-awaited sale of the Pump.fun contract, revealing that users registered on the Bybit Europe platform, which we will soon discuss, will be able to participate. This platform is regulated within the European Union. The public sale of tokens Pump.fun begins today, Saturday, and will run until Tuesday. A total of 150 billion Pump.fun tokens will be distributed through Bybit, representing 15% of the total bid, worth 1 billion brands, with a $0.004 contract price. First, let's say that the founder of Pump.fun once called the ICO sales a scam. However, now he's done his thing and the comments are yours. Now let's talk about Bybit. Bybit is the exchange. And let's say that this is the general setup of Bybit, which will continue to operate until September. Then, those of you who want to use Bybit will have to transfer your funds from the regular Bybit to another exchange. And if you want to stay with Bybit, you'll have to switch to Bybit.eu. This is the regulated exchange for Europe, and this is what will work in the future. The regular one will close, for better or worse. So now that we're done with Bybit, it's time to move on to our favorite cryptocurrency market, with Bitcoin sitting pretty at $117,000. The price reached $118,000 and has been near $119,000 ever since. And since such a big rise, all the stocks from Coinbase Strategy have skyrocketed because Bitcoin is making such strong moves. It's Saturday now, so traditionally Bitcoin will probably take a break to catch its breath. That wraps up the top news for crypto. Today is July 12th, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care everyone and have a good day.